I never thought I would spend another Thanksgiving alone. But that year it happened. My parents didn't invite me to their annual family dinner, claiming I might embarrass my younger sister Emily. I was stunned. How could they openly say that? Emily was 22, and I had always been there for her, through school dramas, heartbreaks, and every small victory. Yet somehow I had become the villain in their eyes. At first I felt a mix of anger and hurt. I wanted to call and confront them, but a quiet voice in my head told me to stay calm. If I reacted impulsively, they would twist it to say I had ruined Thanksgiving. So instead, I decided to spend the day doing something completely different, something that would remind me I didn't need their approval to feel happy. I went out for breakfast at a small cafe downtown and ordered the fluffiest pancakes I had ever seen. Sitting there, sipping hot chocolate, I realized I didn't need their drama to enjoy life. I even smiled at the little things, like a dog wearing a tiny scarf or a child struggling with a balloon, but the thought of Emily kept nagging at me. I loved her, and I knew this exclusion wasn't just casual, it was personal. Later, I learned that my parents had gone all out for Emily. They had invited her boyfriend, Alex, and even bought matching outfits for everyone. My anger simmered as I imagined them laughing at some inside joke at my expense. That's when I decided I wouldn't let this slide. Not in silence. I started crafting a plan, subtle, clever, and just a little humiliating for those who had humiliated me. The next day, I casually texted Alex, Emily's boyfriend, pretending to be a concerned family friend. I mentioned that some old photos of Emily's teenage years were floating online, photos she wouldn't want anyone to see. The texts were innocent enough, just curious questions, but they hinted that there was something embarrassing waiting. Alex was intrigued and a little nervous, which gave me the tiny thrill of seeing my plan take shape. By mid-afternoon, Alex arrived at my apartment, thinking he was helping protect Emily's secret. I invited him in for coffee, acting completely normal, and casually mentioned some funny stories from Emily's past. He listened intently, clearly trying to gauge whether these were harmless anecdotes or catastrophic revelations. All the while, I could feel the tension building. It was my little victory, watching the one person they adored start to worry about them. Then came the perfect moment. I handed Alex a folder of old photos, all harmless but slightly ridiculous. Emily in a tutu recital, her face covered in cake at a childhood party, a picture of her wearing mismatched socks proudly. I watched as Alex's eyes widened, then twitched in a nervous smile. He whispered, I think I should tell her before anyone else sees this. I nodded, letting him stew for a while, imagining how Emily's parents would react if the tables were turned. The following day, Emily called me in a panic. Alex had told her everything, but instead of being angry with me, she laughed. Loud, uncontrollable laughter. She realized my plan had been more playful than malicious. I reminded her gently that I was never the one to embarrass anyone intentionally. It was my parents who had framed me that way. For the first time in years, she promised to stick up for me. Weeks later, at another family gathering, the atmosphere had changed. My parents were more cautious, more aware that excluding me wasn't going to go unnoticed. Emily and Alex often exchanged knowing glances, and every so often I caught a smirk from them that said, "We know your little trick." Revenge had been sweet, but more importantly, I had reminded my family that I wasn't someone to be dismissed or humiliated. I had reclaimed my place in my own story, and this time on my terms.